the stream hasn't started. Hello, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are back with another review with Cyberpunk 2077 review. So this time around, we are checking to see if installing the game on the SSD has any impact on the game. And I could tell you right now, by just looking at it, load times are way better. We are, I believe, let's look at the settings here. So we're at 1440p with boost enabled. We have the ray reconstruction and the DLSS to quality. Essentially that's how you have to have it set up. And we also have path tracing set up. So right now we are sitting at about 30 frames a second is what we're going to be looking at here. So that is where we are at. So having the SSD, as you guys can see here, when we switch over to the difference here, it does change, and then you see some of the shadowing behind it. So here we go, let's go ahead and let's take off the ray reconstruction and the path tracing. We'll hit apply, and then you should see the frame rate actually jump up here. So now we went from about averaging 30 frames a second, we're up to 48 to 40 frames. So we jumped up about 10 frames in difference here, and that is a huge difference with just normal ray tracing on and everything else like that. So there's a bike there, and I did look at that, we're even jumping up to 50 frames. I did find out that this right here is the busiest part of the intersection. So we're gonna go ahead and look here. Looks like we're getting about 52 frames. We're even jumping up closer to 60. And then here with more things moving around from the people to that, you don't see a lot of the shadowing anymore, like the ghosting effect behind that car. Like these cars are here, you don't really see it as much compared to with the ray reconstruction and the path tracing turned on. And then of course we've also gained more frames, and the game is now installed on my SSD. So let's go ahead and bump up the video to 4K, and this is without any of the stuff increased. Alright, so now the game is definitely slowing down a bit here. Give it a second. So there it goes. So now it's loaded back up. So we are at your 30 frames a second here, and there is some stuttering there. It is a little bit slower. Look up at the sky. We're at like 34, 30 frames here, and this is at full 4K. So we did 4K, 1440p, and we're averaging about 30 frames. So this is like what it would be playing on a console. So now let's go ahead and let's turn on the ray reconstruction and the path trace settings and see what it does. Yep, GPU intensive, and this is on a 3080. This stuff is utilizing shadow play. So here we go. We are at DLSS 70%. And here we are with ray reconstruction. You can see the ghosting already right there. Since we are down lower frames, I'm gonna let the game catch up here. So there's that. You see the ghosting? It looks like there's like a shadow or like smoke behind him. You can see it really intense right here in this portion of the game right now. So you can see it with these cars moving around. You could see it, and then see how it's moving. It's like a ghosting effect is what they call it. So this is at 4K. I would say it did help prior to having it versus on the hard drive versus the SSD. So if you guys do have this game installed on your standard hard drive, move it over to SSD. You'll gain about 3 to 5 frames, even sometimes 10. So this is path tracing turned on. You see the ghosting behind it. It's like a blurry effect. I wouldn't play it at this point just because one, my computer can't really handle it. And the game just looks weird looking. And again, when it comes to all the shooting and the firing and things like that, I don't think it's really gonna matter. Here, we're gonna try it with the NVIDIA low latency. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn that off. We're gonna keep it at 4K. Everything is still the same. So that is what is happening. So not a huge difference, guys. SSD does help. Definitely recommend that performance wise. But here we go. We're going to go ahead and leave this thing at 2K with this setup here, and you guys can gauge this based off of your system. Hopefully this video has helped you guys decide on what settings you're going to run the game on. We could probably do the default, which I think we were set at like 0.3, but we're going to keep it at 70% here, and we're going to run it that way, and we're going to keep the quality up, keep the ray tracing on, no path tracing, and that's what we're going to do. And then now we're going to keep it there. And again, at this point, with all these tweaks and settings, it becomes an art form in this game. I don't think any of our hardware right now can actually utilize this unless you have like a 4090 or 4070, 4080. I would say 4080. 3080 and 4070 are kind of similar in performance for the most part. Only a 2 to 3% difference, at least from what I've seen. So this is the game. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful here. The real life stuff is there on the top left corner, and this is what I found best. And does it really help installing it on SSD? I would say yes. Oh my gosh, that card literally just came out of nowhere. What just happened? That is crazy. We'll go ahead and let's enter into the camera effect here, and then we're gonna do this right here. And then boom. Oh, don't know what just happened there. Well guys, we'll see you guys on the next one. Subscribe, like this video if it helped you out, and see you guys.